Liberty Nation. Truth is making a comeback.
Welcome back to Liberty Nation TV. This is Scott Cosenza, and I'm here with Teresa Reed. Hi, Teresa.
Hi, Scott.
We're going to talk about Teresa's piece, Amazon's Post Office Scam. Certainly a provocative title, and for those of us who pay attention to President Trump's tweets, even if only tangentially, we know that he likes to tweet against Jeff Bezos and the Washington Post and Amazon now. And so give us a sense, what is the crux of the issue here? What is President Trump on about when talking about the post office and Amazon and Jeff Bezos? Can you give us a thumbnail sketch, please?
Sure. Scott, I think that one of the biggest things that I'm trying to point out in the piece is that it really isn't something that Amazon is doing or isn't doing or causing to scam the post office. It really is more about a lot of noise around the losses that the post office has been experiencing and President Trump's dislike for it. And then in his usual fashion, he finds a way to make somebody responsible for something they're not responsible for, just to get some noise and some action around a topic. And I think that that's really what he's been doing here.
And he's alleged, in not so many words, that Amazon is somehow sort of like scamming the post office, or the post office is victim to Amazon's ways of shipping that are deleterious to the taxpayer. Is that right?
That's correct. And really, some of the information that he has been given, you can kind of see why he thinks that. But if you really look and crunch the numbers, Amazon is helping with volumes to keep the post office running and having more employees and actually facilitating their bottom line more than hurting it. But it's not, that's not the detail and the information that President Trump is getting, and therefore he's sticking to his side of the argument. And he's got some really good points, and it is getting some attention, and the post office does need a financial fix. It's just not really on the backs of Amazon.
Would it help the post office if Amazon decided all of a sudden to cease doing business with it for package delivery?
It would not help them at all. It would hurt them. It would hurt them because due to the fact that most people don't use first-class mail anymore, and there's this big growth in online shopping and parcel packaging and shipping, it would decrease the post office's volumes by almost 25%.
And it's up to the post office to set the prices for their packages, right? Amazon doesn't get to set the price at which it can send a package through the United States postal system, right?
Well, that's a really good question, because the post office isn't able to set its rates, and therein lies a big part of the problem.
Amazon gets to tell the post office how much it's going to pay for a package to send?
No, I did not say that. I said that the post office doesn't have the ability to set their rates. They are mandated by a law that was passed in 2006, which caps the amount that they can charge.
And that's not, I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
And what has happened is that law has been argued, and there's legislation currently in place trying to get that removed so that they can become more competitive. Another problem that they have is that there is supposed to be a board of governors of 9 people that oversee the running of the post office, much like a board of directors would in a corporation. Currently, there are only 2 people sitting on that board, one of them being the Postmaster General. And President Trump has nominated 3 people to that board. However, it is stuck within Congress and not getting passed and not moving anywhere.
Can you tell me the law that requires, that does not allow the U.S. Postal Service to set their own rates? Is that for all shipping classes and items?
Yes, it is for everything.
Okay. And so, all right. Well, it sounds like I'm surprised. I'm actually shocked that why are or is anybody using the UPS or FedEx or DHL or any of the other competitive carriers if the rates are set so low that they're even below cost? Is it well, I'll let you answer if you have one.
Well, I do have an answer. I think a lot of it has to do with just our everyday convenience. I think that, if you're in a downtown area, you may have 4 or 5 options to go to FedEx or to go to UPS or to have them come directly to you and pick the packages up. The post office does offer some of that, but not at the rate and not at the convenience that those two locales do. Now, I live in an area where I'm a block away from a post office and I'm across the street from a FedEx. And I can mail the same package to Arizona across the United States, 2-day priority for the Postal Service for about $12. The same exact package I would have to mail a ground 5-day in FedEx, and it's $26. Mm-hmm. I ask myself the same question: why in the heck am I using FedEx? I should be walking an extra block and using the post office. It's just that FedEx was right across the street, and that's who I use. And I think that a lot of people nowadays see that way, or maybe even think of the post office as some antiquated service. So, and
or maybe
it's not.
They just want some notion of a guarantee, which we know that priority mail packages 2 to 3 to 100 days, and no actual guarantee. Where I think with FedEx, they'll at least give you your $27 back if they don't get it there.
If it's not there in 5 days.
Yeah. So what options does the Postal Service have to improve their bottom line going forward?
Well, first of all, the 3 pieces in that legislation that's on the table that I mentioned includes them not having to fund their current retirement benefits 100% in the current period. That really, it's really a model that just kills them. And it's not even a model, without getting too far into the details, it's not even a model that projects just for the Postal Service. It's a model based upon a projection for the entire United States government. So this number that they're supposed to try to come up with of how much money they'll need over the next 45 years to pay retirement benefits for all people who have worked at the post office is a very large number. In 2016, it was $5.8 million, and $5.8 million that they had to carry as operating expense to their bottom line. That needs to be changed. It needs to be a more fair model, something where they can take hits and pickups along the way and not just keep having to fund at a level that is...
So adoption of a more appropriate accounting rubric, it sounds like, is part of the key there. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
That'd be fair.
And I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And then another thing is just to be unhandcuffed from this capping of how much money they can charge for their services, and also how much they can charge for parcel post.
Well, does parcel post even exist anymore as a class? I thought it was all priority now.
I don't know the answer to that.
Yes. Well, yeah, it's surprising to me that they weren't allowed to make their own judgments based on the packaging. The package shipments. I recall, those of us who are above teenager level, I'm sure, every few years you'd remember in the news it was a big fight over they're going to raise the stamp a penny or two, right? And it seems like we don't have those fights anymore. That they have the evergreen stamp that you can use at any time. But yeah, it's news to me about the shipment prices that they can't touch. Well, Trump's tweets against Amazon were seen by some analysts, I guess, or reported as some, to coincide with a dip in Amazon's price, and he was blamed for a reduction in the overall value of the company. Is that a fair criticism of the president and his tweeting?
I don't really think so. I mean, I think that the market bears what the market can bear, and if he's going to be criticized for that on a day that it goes down, then like a day-to-day where Amazon goes up I think when I looked about a half an hour ago, it was up 43 or $44, and he was tweeting about it today. So I mean, it's only fair if you're going to say he's controlling it when it goes down, that then he must have some control when it goes up, or maybe today's tweet weren't so bad. But I think that the dip in the stock market has a lot more to do with things that are going on around the tech stocks. I know that Amazon is a retail, but it's seen as a tech stock, and just with the volatility of the market, that everybody seems to not remember that it's a volatile market. We had it going up consistently for so long. So no, I think that he might like the fact that people think he's that powerful.
Sure. Yeah, well, this I don't think is a debatable point.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for Teresa Reed, this is Scott Cosenza. Thank you for joining us. And if you're multitasking, why not try our unique listen feature accompanying all our articles? Simply go to the Listen to the News page at libertynation.com for fully narrated versions of all our top stories. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.
Liberty Nation. News and commentary, minus the propaganda. libertynation.com